Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin. Quadruple murder rocks Summerfield, Clarendon. One student remains hospitalized after consuming ganja-laced sweets. And in sports, FIFA 2030 Men's World Cup to be played across 6 countries and 3 continents. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kalisha Williams, and here are the details. The Clarendon police are still trying to piece together the circumstances surrounding the shooting death of 4 men in Summerfield in the parish. Halshane Burke reports.
A quiet community in Clarendon is now trying to come to grips with a tragic quadruple murder Wednesday morning. It's understood that sometime after 1 o'clock, a group of patrons was at the Genesis Bar and Lounge for the community's regular Tuesday night karaoke. While the event was in full swing, a gunman walked up to the event and fired several shots, killing 4 men. They have been identified as 44-year-old Kish Brown, 29-year-old Theo Manning, 39-year-old Varel Manning, and 64-year-old Clifton Campbell. Head of the Area 3 Police, Glenford Miller, says no motive has yet been established for the killing. However, he's imploring residents who may have information to come to the police.
This area within the Clarendon space is actually one of the quieter spaces within the northern side of Clarendon. One of the areas that has not been given any form of violence, any form of problem where crime is concerned. So when a situation like this takes place, it actually shocked the entire community. So we are looking forward for the entire community to come on board and help us to solve this crime.
Jennifer Gray, who shares 3 children with Burrell Manning, says she's now left helpless.
I'm very cut up because 2 of the trees going just past for high school. So I don't know when I'm going to get over. It is a hard going over, get over.
In the meantime, the police say they will be reviewing a number of the acts and legislations in terms of entertainment events.
Most establishments, there's a cut-off time for all the establishment that we know about. So we're going to look back at the acts and the laws, and we'll see how best we can do some educational campaign and imploring persons. Once it is a cut-off time for your establishment to be closed, close your establishment, abide by the law. And also, we just divert a little and speak to persons who actually keep parties also. When it is a cut-off time for the parties, shut down the parties.
Halshane Burke.
Police Commissioner Major General Anthony Anderson says the Jamaica Constabulary Force is teaming up with the authorities in the Cayman Islands in relation to the seizure of an illegal firearm in that country. The gun in question, according to the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service, has been linked to 5 murders in Jamaica. Major General Anderson, during a press briefing recently, said the JCF is using its comprehensive system to track the firearm.
We have tied some firearms to even as much as 20 plus murders or scenes of shootings. So this one, it's early days yet. We're collaborating with Cayman on this, and we'll see where it leads us.
The St. Elizabeth police have captured a man who they've described as one of the most notorious thieves in the parish after a bar robbery along Park Main Road this morning. He was taken into custody this morning. He's been identified only as Roofy, as his style of break-ins involve going through the roof of buildings. A search of the man's home uncovered large sums of money and cigarettes. He is to be questioned later today. Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton has revealed that the dengue outbreak will last throughout this year and possibly into the first quarter of 2024. It's why the ministry has ramped up mitigation measures in response. He gave the update at this morning's post-cabinet press briefing.
Brace for it. That revelation from Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton to the Jamaican population after revealing that the dengue virus will be with us for at least another 6 months. There have been 158 confirmed serotype 2 dengue cases, which is the dominant strain. Now, this strain, he revealed, will affect mostly young people.
Type 2, the fact that we haven't had it since 2010, means that to the younger population, it is relatively novel. It's new. Because it is new, their resistance to it, there's no automatic resistance, so they are more vulnerable to getting it. In other words, if you had type 2, it would significantly protect you against the virus now, if you've had it before.
As a result, the health minister says his ministry has initiated a number of public health education activities in response to the dengue virus. He says an additional 600 temporary staff will be hired.
National level, you will see it on social media, follow the Ministry of Health website. Every day we put out multiples of flyers, information around search and destroy, around symptoms, etc. You will see it through our cooperative agencies like the JIS, if you go and tune into their sites. You will see it covered in the mainstream media, and you will see it in the communities, primarily carried out by our community health aides or vector aides.
And Dr. Tufton provided an update on the 6 deaths previously under investigation.
5 of those deaths have now been classified. 1 death was dengue related, so that's confirmed. 3 were classified as suspected dengue-related deaths. And you may need some clarity on that. I'm not going to venture that. If you need that clarity, I'll ask the CMO to explain what investigation revealing suspected dengue means. But I suspect it means it looks like dengue, but they can't confirm it's dengue. And then 1 which is totally unrelated.
In the meantime, the health minister is reiterating calls for citizens to play their part in response to the outbreak by destroying mosquito breeding sites in and around their homes. Kerry and Simpson.
Meanwhile, the Jamaica Association of Public Health Inspectors, JAFI, is calling on the government to be more proactive with vector-borne diseases. President of the association, Michael Miles, said the government should use the data available to them to address the country's dengue outbreak.
Dengue fever response cannot be an event. It is a process. It requires a continuous support from all sectors. All sectors must have a vector control budget. All sectors must be in the response against dengue fever and other vector-borne illnesses. We must have a task force representing every discipline.
Mr. Miles says communities need to be supplied with adequate water so residents can avoid storing it in the open. Frequent garbage collection is also viewed as key to curbing the outbreak.
We have an outbreak. We have an insurgent in rodents. We see leptospirosis cases going up. We see an increase in vector or dengue fever cases. The last outbreak we had a solid waste crisis that lasts for the entire 2 years. So therefore, it means that we have to consider how we dispose of our waste. The systems that we're having have to be consistent.
Street vendors will soon be regulated when selling at schools across the country. That revelation from Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton at this morning's post-cabinet press briefing. It follows the hospitalization of 65 students in St. Anne after they unknowingly purchased and consumed sweets laced with ganja from a school vendor. Dr. Tufton explained that up to Wednesday morning, only 1 child remained in hospital. However, he said the matter has placed the planned nutrition policy for schools into greater focus.
Of our vendors on the inside and outside of the premises. Now that's going to be difficult, but the truth is we're going to have to try, and it's going to involve all of us. The parents are going to be key in terms of what they give their children and the guidance they provide to them. So we expect a very active period, and for those who don't comply, we will use moral suasion where we must, but we're going to have to use the law where it is necessary.
Dr. Tufton said the Health Ministry is now consulting with the Education Ministry to finalize the written document,
which will form the basis for a cabinet submission to be a white paper, so it moves in stages, and then ultimately to go to the floor of Parliament through cabinet for an approval of a new policy. The intention is to try to have that document completed before the end of this year, and certainly move to the next stage during the course of this financial year.
And it's time for a break. Stay with us. More stories when we come back. Welcome back to the Midday News, and thanks for staying with us. Continuing the news now to the story of a St. Catherine-based primary school which has been operating without electricity. The situation has been affecting the Crescent Primary School for more than a week. As Sandy Williams reports, the Jamaica Public Service does not know why the institution is without power.
Connecting electrical cords but no electricity, the reality at the Crescent Primary School in St. Catherine. According to parents and staff, the institution has been without power since last Monday.
We come Monday and about approximately 12 o'clock, they start the smoke coming from the meter again. So we have to call the fire brigade again and stuff over school from 12:30. So from that they said no school online, but there's a lot of students who don't have any internet, who don't have any tablet to go online.
Physical classes resumed this Monday, but the institution is still without power.
There is no light. We have fans in most of the classes, but from there is no light, them are go hot, them are go miserable, them not go learn nothing. So that even don't make no sense. But because we want them to come to school, we have to just try to do something.
The impact is more evident at the school's canteen.
We even purchase chickens spoil. We even have juice in the fridge. We have to try to get somebody to put them in the fridge for us, because if we don't do that, we're going to lose everything.
When contacted, Public Relations Manager at the Jamaica Public Service, Audrey Williams, says the Light and Power Company hasn't received a formal report on the incident. As a result, she is unable to say why the school is without electricity. Ms. Williams adds the company stands ready to carry out any investigations and take any corrective action that needs to be pursued. It's why parents want the government to intervene.
The government can fix the light still, you know. A voting time. If you want, my voting can fix the light. I'll vote for him if he fix the light. We can't take the baby in my yard. We can't manage to have work, have to be on the road. We don't really have the time like that now. And it's not COVID where, you know, everything is just tense. It's not tense. Fix the lights. Remember him saying every child must can learn, and every child must learn. So why must stop them now?
TVJ News tried to get a response from the Ministry of Education's Region 6 officer. However, we were unsuccessful. Sandy Williams.
It's now time for the Business Minute.
General Accident Insurance Company registered improved results for the first 6 months of 2023. Managing Director of General Accident, Sharon Donaldson, says as at June this year, the company's insurance revenue increased by 36%.
To 5.2 billion for the first 6 months of the year, and at the end of the year we will be showing even higher levels of increase. We have quite a strong pipeline to get us to the end of the year, and we'll be able to continue to be profitable. Our half-year net profit is a 505% over the prior year. It's 246.3 million for the first 6 months of the year.